Please join me in welcoming with her signature keynote, The Secret to Improving Every Relationship You Have, Pam Miller.
There is a long list of reasons why I'm the least likely person to talk to you about relationships. And that's also what might make me the most qualified. I know that all of you are cool, smart, successful business owners out there making things happen. But one truth that I've learned in my years in tech, sales, coaching, and parenting is that relationships are the currency of life. You can have the best product. You can have the most stellar brand. You can have the most brilliant strategy. But if you cannot connect meaningfully with people, you're going to hit a ceiling every single time. The work that I do today started really when I got my first job. But first, I had to survive the awkward teenage years, and they were awkward. I was smart, but not cool smart like you, more like nerdy smart. I was fluent in calculus and chemistry. My dating life was non-existent. And my best friend, 4 legs and a tail. Now, looking back, it makes sense that I got along better with animals than people. I had not yet learned how to connect with people. Graduating with a computer science and maths degree, no surprise there. I got a great job with a hospital information systems company. I loved that job. I got promoted every 2 years. Things were going great until that one promotion that really pulled me out of my comfort zone. At the age of 27, I was named the first female account executive in the Southeast. Now, that job came with a sales quota to sell software. I know what you're thinking. Yes, we did have both computers and software back then. And there was at least one woman in tech. There is one presentation in particular that I will never forget. Imagine you're at the Baptist Medical Centers in Birmingham, Alabama. It is a large multi-hospital organization. 7:45 on Tuesday morning, I'm contemplating going in the boardroom. You know, the one with the big mahogany table? This one was full of middle-aged men. And I did walk in that ballroom, and I delivered a thorough overview of the menus, screens, navigation, customization, integration, forms, functions, features, and reporting capabilities of that software. The only thing I'd not covered was what to do if they spilled coffee on the keyboard. I walked out of there. Yes, I nailed that. Nailed it. I was even singing in the hallway. I was so pleased with my presentation. Till later that afternoon, and my boss called. Pam, we need to talk. We did not get that sale. What happened in there? They didn't even like you. I was devastated. I was embarrassed. And I was completely confused. I thought I had done everything right. My nerdy smart IQ had gotten me this far, but I didn't know what else to do. What I found was that there are a lot of us, especially in the STEM fields, we struggle truly connecting with others. And so I wasn't alone. If I'm not even aware of my own emotions, how am I supposed to read what someone else is thinking and feeling? There are a lot of professionals that are out there today, and they just want respect, and they're not getting it. They want to be promoted and recognized for the great work they're doing, and they're not. They want better personal relationships, and they're not getting them, and they don't know why. They feel overlooked, and they avoid coworkers because of conflict. All of these fall under the general category of emotional intelligence. It's a buzzword today, but what it really talks about is regulating your own emotions and recognizing and influencing the emotions of others. This is a great group, and already know I love the numbers. So let's do a little poll. How many of you would say you are self-aware? You're emotionally aware. Raise your hand. Yes, exactly. 95% of us would say that we are self-aware. Unfortunately, the statistics say that only 10 to 15% of us score at an adequate level when given an emotional intelligence assessment. That means, yeah, most of us are wrong. You might be surprised to learn that 85 to 90% of us are not self aware. In addition, managers look at emotion intelligence skills. 78% of the managers, when they're hiring, deciding who gets a raise and who gets promoted. And top executives, that's most impressive. 90% of the top executives are high level emotional intelligence people. That affects how they communicate, how they delegate, how they work with their teams, navigate change, handle difficult conversations. What does that mean? That means that there are real consequences to the gap between our IQ and our EQ. If we truly want to thrive in our life, I mean, being smart is not enough. If we really want to thrive, we need to develop our emotional intelligence. We all know that mediocre student in high school who then shows up at the class reunion. He's like a big successful business owner somewhere, right? Have you ever wondered what the difference is? I've worked with hundreds of executives and teams on their emotional intelligence, communication skills, listening skills, and mindset. But today I want to share with you one simple process that you can use right when you walk out the door. Because when you strengthen your social EQ, it affects every interaction you have. A few years ago, my husband Mark and I had a very memorable interaction. We were in Colorado climbing the highest peak in preparation for summiting Mount Kilimanjaro 6 weeks later. And we entered the bottom of the mountain. The trails are well defined, tree lined. And then we broke through above the tree line. Well, that's where the path is not well defined and it can be treacherous. We always climb together because it's so much safer. That is the last place you want to be alone. As we climbed higher, it was getting colder. We were cold. And, the mountains are snow peak top for a reason, right? We were getting cold and the air gets thinner, so you can't breathe as well. We were a couple hours from the summit. And as I looked up ahead, you wouldn't believe what I saw. I saw a girl sitting by herself on a boulder. Her head was down, her shoulders were slumped. We thought she was hurt, so we decided to stop. Are you okay? You're not alone, are you? Well, yeah, I'm here with my triathlon club, but they went up ahead. We're doing high altitude training, and I'm just having a hard time breathing. I'm not sure I can make it. Wow, a triathlon club. That's great. Where are they? Well, my coach went up ahead with them. He said he would wait for me, but I'm, I'm not sure I can make it. This is the same boulder I stopped at last year, and I ended up going back down. And I'm thinking about going back down again this year. I thought, what kind of coach leaves their athlete on a boulder above the tree line on a mountain, right? Okay. But Mark and I caught eyes with Mark, and we knew we were not going to leave her behind. Look, we're going to the summit, and we're not looking to break any land speed records. We would love for you to come with us. Why don't we all go together? And we did. We went up the mountain, and this is us. I'm leading. Kelsey, that was the girl on the boulder, has a red hat on. Her coach is behind her. We did come upon him. And when we got to the summit, she went from alone, tired, and just discouraged to triumphant and exuberant. This picture says it all. No, I still get emotional thinking about this climb. Because, sure, Mark and I made it to the summit. But you know what? It was so much more rewarding to watch Kelsey posing for her coach, hands raised, and just exuding confidence at the top of that mountain. And you might wonder how Kelsey went from, you know, down in the dumps and going to go back down from the boulder to triumphant and confident. Well, it wasn't magic. It was really that simple process I referred to earlier. And the point of it is that to make a meaningful connection, like we did with Kelsey, so that you can actually influence, because influence starts where connection begins. And that's what this process helps you do. I call it the dive in process, and anyone can learn to do it. D is for discover. Take a look at what's going on. Kelsey's body language said it all. I is for inquire. Like I had a conversation with her, asking questions, be curious, go deeper. V is for validate. We acknowledge that and what she said and she felt heard. Those three really are the connection pieces, the conversation that helped you connect. The next three help you move it forward. You're going to empathize, step into their shoes, feel what they're feeling. Then I, you can actually influence them. You can respond with purpose and move the relationship forward. We did not cheerlead with Kelsey. We offered to come alongside her. And as for navigate, then you can move the conversation and the relationship forward. And that's exactly what we did. You know, remember, so again, make that connection because you're able to influence at that point. But you remember that 27-year-old me that had the terrible, horrible, very terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day in the boardroom. I did figure out how to connect with my clients. And as a result, I not only exceeded my sales quota the next year, I was given the company wide Pride and Performance Award. So I was pretty happy to learn how to connect with that. But what I realized was closing in on 5 years of marriage at that point, I finally realized that my husband had an opinion. I know it's funny now, but my lack of awareness was not just professional, it was also personal. And so I wasn't really truly listening, even to the person that I love the most. So, what's that mean for you? Think about your life. Trust me. Trust me. Remember, fluent in computer science, calculus, computers, and chemistry? Trust me when I say that mastering this dive in process will help you make better connections and have deeper relationships. So think about your own life. Who is your Kelsey? Maybe your spouse, maybe your coworker, maybe your teenager. Write down that name. You've got your notebooks out. Write down that name and decide to try the dive in process with them. I encourage you to start that conversation because relationships are the currency of life and connection begins with you. You never know who is out there sitting on their metaphorical boulder, just waiting for you to help them climb. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.